Problem number 1, which of the following is a solution to the equation x minus 1/4 equals 0.06? If I have x minus 1/4, or x minus 1.4 equals 0.06, 0.6, I'd have to add 1.4 to both sides to get x by itself. X is going to be equal to 2.0. On number 2, Lanny opened a savings account with $450. This is where she's starting. She has $450 in her account. She saves $225 each month. So she's adding $225 because it's being saved, and it's each month, so I don't know how many months they're talking about. And they asked how much money they'd have. So y equals 450 plus 225m. On number 3, in order to get y by itself, I'd have to multiply both sides by 3. When I did, these 3's would cancel out, leaving me y equals 36. Kimmy earns $200 commission on all sales. So she's earning $200 every time she makes a sale. And she earns a salary of $30,000. And it said last year her total income was $80,000. So I'm looking for 30,000 plus 200x equals 80,000. The correct answer is A. Rashada charges an initial fee of $10. She's charging it once. She charges an hourly rate of 4. So it's 10 plus 4x. That's why A is the correct answer. The distributive property says A parentheses B plus C is equal to A times C plus A times. Let me give room in here. A parentheses B plus C is equal to A times B plus A times C. In other words, I've got to make sure that everything gets distributed through. If I distribute it through, 4 times 0.2a would be 0.8. 0.4 times 0.3 would be 0.12. That's why C is the correct answer. The chess club has 50 members. They want to raise $680. And the school gave them $130. They're starting out with $130 from the school. They need to raise so many dollars per person, so that'd be plus 50x. And they need to raise $680. This would be my equation to solve this problem. I would subtract 130 from both sides, and I'd have 50x is equal to 150, and I divide both sides by 50. That's 550. The correct answer is C. Which expression shows 6 less than twice the sum? If it says 6 less, I'm subtracting 6. Twice a sum means I'm taking 2 times the sum, and is where the addition is taking place, so x plus 21. 2 parentheses x plus 21 minus 6a. Which of the following values does not satisfy the inequality? All I have to do is plug in numbers. -2 times a -4 minus 6 is less than or equal to 1. -2 times -4 would have been 8. 8 minus 6 is less than 1. This is going to say 2 is less than or equal to 1, which would be false. That is why A does not satisfy this inequality. Alexa started a race with a 50-meter head start. She's starting out with 50 meters. She's running at a rate of 6.25 meters per second. If I multiply by that number of seconds, we should be able to find out how many seconds it will take her to run 200 meters. First thing I'm going to do is subtract the 50 from both sides. I'm going to have 6.25x is equal to 150. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 6.25. When I divide both sides by 6.25, I'm going to get that x is equal to 24. B is the correct answer. On number 11, the easiest way to set these up is make sure that you're treating money as just that money. 6 times 0.25 plus x times 0.10 is equal to 450. Six times 25 is going to be $1.50, and I'm just going to go ahead and save some time and subtract that from both sides. It's going to give me x times 0.10 is equal to $3. And if I divide both sides now by 0.10, I'm going to find out that the answer to this one is C, 30. Must have 30 dimes. Be careful when you're doing the word problems that you do both of the parts that it's talking about. If it says write and solve an equation, that's what we should be doing. If he has $90 in the bank, this is where he's starting. Every time he rides the bus, he spends $2.50, 2.50 times each bus ride. And they want to know how many times he can ride the bus. And remember, he could ride it until he was down to nothing. I would subtract 90 from both sides. By the way, this is my equation. I'd have a negative 2.5. X is equal to a negative 90. And I would divide both sides by a negative 2.50. And when I do that, I'm going to find out that I get x is equal to 36, which means he can ride the bus 36 times. Tammy bought a video game console and some games for $350. This was the total amount that she spent. If the video game was $200, if the video console was $200 and each game was $25, how many games did Tamani purchase? I'd subtract 200 from both sides. I'd have 25x is equal to 150, and I divide both sides by 25 and find out that they bought 6 games. Allison bought some shirts for a clothing store, $15 each. She received $50 off of her purchase, and she spent $400. So they want to know how many shirts that she bought. The first thing I'd end up doing is adding 50 to both sides. I'd have 15x is equal to 450, and I would divide both sides by 15, and x would be equal to 30. This one says write an expression. Remember, an expression does not have an equal sign. 6 more means that I'm adding 6 to something. Half the number of pairs Mercedes has. Half of whatever Mercedes has, there's my expression. Kelly has 4 dimes. 4 times the price of a dime. Some nickels, x times 0.05. And they value $2.25. Write an equation for this. Well, I've written the equation. I'm going to go ahead and solve it as well. I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 40 cents from both sides. It's going to leave me x times 0.05. Is equal to, and this would be 185, and I divide both sides by 0.05. When I do that, I am going to get that x is equal to 37. She would have 37 nickels. On this problem, all I'm doing is dividing both sides by 0.25. And x would end up being equal to 40. On number 19, where they're asking where they made the mistake and explain, you can see that she added 5 to both sides to get from step 1 to step 2, which is correct. But to get to step 2 to step 3, she should have divided by a -3. She didn't divide by a negative. She divided by a positive. The answer should have been x equals a -2. Oswaldo earns a salary of $2,500. Salary is a one-time thing. It's how much you're getting each month, each year. 8% commission, which is 0.08 times the number of sales that the person is going to make. And they want to earn, or they did earn, $5,400. Write an equation that shows what the total is in order for Oswald to reach his goal. Well, that would be the equation. Again, I would say if we can write the equation, we should be able to solve it. I'd subtract 2,500 from both sides. 0.0x would now be equal to 2,900. And I divide both sides by 0.08. And I'd find out that in order to make this, she'd have to make $36,250 worth of sales. Number 21, Wallace has a $50 bill. Pizza pies cost $12.25 each. Write in an expression again, so this would not have an equal sign to show the amount of change. So if I take $50 and I subtract $12.25 times each one of the pizzas that they bought, that would be my expression. Juma earns $12.50 for each newspaper. This is a commission. $50 base salary and wants to earn $400 total. There's my equation, which is part of what they asked me to do. Write an equation and solve it. And I'm going to subtract 50 from both sides. I'm going to have 12.50x is equal to 350. I'm going to divide both sides by 12.50. And I'm going to get that x is equal to 28, which would be 28